Let's see what we're doing this morning. Let's get it together. Get it together. Hmm. Good morning. Good morning. Let's see now. Let's see. And we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm inviting a few people. Here we go. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am super excited because yeah, it's a lot going on, and people are in some situations, and they want things to be different, and I do too for you. So let's just jump on in here. Um, all right. So this morning, on this Saturday morning, I want to say good morning, welcome everyone. I wish y'all could see this cute little outfit I have on. Oh, it is so cute. I forgot to put the little belt on, but I couldn't get in it a while ago, so I'm in it now. Let's see if I can show you. Um, uh, Anyway, it's cute, 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 it's cute. But anyway, and it goes all the way down to the floor. It's a little pantsuit, and I'm gonna be killing the game on my next vacation. You know, I've been the vacation girl. I've done 2 vacations already this year, and the next one's coming up in a few weeks. But anyway, I digress. Let's get back to the seriousness of the matter. I just want to say I hope you guys had a wonderful week. Um, my life has changed dramatically. My life has changed dramatically with my work situation. But I'm going to tell people just be glad you have a job. All the craziness and all the crazy people you work with and the crazy bureaucracy, you just be with it because people want you to get off your goals and you need a job to meet those goals. You need a job to make things happen. So I tell you, do not be upset. Go with it. Keep your mouth shut. Get them checks and pay them bills and do what you need to do. But in the meantime, start working on other things so you can get out of there. That's all I'm going to say. All right. So today we're going to talk about don't give up on your financial dreams. Don't give up on your financial dreams. Now, I bet you say, oh, she says that every week. But if you're living paycheck to paycheck, or if you barely have a little bit extra, if you have some extra, you should be excited. And if you barely have anything extra and you're really living extremely tight, paycheck to paycheck, now a change has to come. And you need to do some of those serious things that I've outlined for the last year. And this month will be 1 year of me being on YouTube. I also have an account over on TikTok. And so you guys, check me out. The last 3 years, April 16th of 2021, I paid off 124K of consumer debt. And that was 30% mortgage debt, 30,000 mortgage debt, and 94 of consumer debt. And so I have been consumer debt free for 3 years and 2 months. I'm very excited. And so this year I turned 55, and that's why I'm taking the 5 trips and just really having a good time. In the midst of that, I was able to save 135K just on savings. And then I have been able to say invest 30K per year, which will be 120 by the end of this year, to my employee contributions for my retirement. So I have done pretty well. I don't know who's on here, and I'm going to say this again today. If you're not on this for learning about financial empowerment, then we need for you to remove yourself, or you will be removed from the chat. This is not a chat for anything else about except financial empowerment, helping each other to be better financially, mind, body, soul, and spirit. So all of you that's talking about whatever, you please do not do that, okay? Now, so what I say to you is don't be discouraged. Do not be discouraged, because when I think about the debt that I was in, I didn't really think that was a lot of debt, because the way the debt was packaged, I was paying my bills, I was getting my rental income, I made a salary, but the amount of debt that was out there that I had amassed from 2016, 2017, 2018, I made three big purchases in 3 years. This is the kind of stuff that sneaks up on people. And I still was fine. I just woke up one day and made up in my mind I wanted to be debt free. And when I started looking at the amount, that's when I was like, oh, this gotta change. And so from that point, I decided to put myself on a $25 a week budget. We was doing COVID during this time, so who was going anywhere, who could do anything? So I focused on my spreadsheets, had a spreadsheet for each debt. I outlined it and I worked that spreadsheet, and every penny I got, I put it towards the debt. So in 16 months, I was able to pay off that 124K. Now, why is she bald like that? Now, see this right here. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go, because y'all are not here for any seriousness. We this is some serious stuff. So you all can go. If it's boring, go ahead and find something else to do, baby. But you will not be on here with this foolishness. Where are her eyebrows that you finna see now removed? Okay. So I apologize for those of you. People just have too much free time on these internets. But anyway, and I can get rid of all this off the video. So with that being said, staying focused is what was my real resilience. When I say to you, don't give up on your financial dreams, in the midst of all the foolishness that was going on during the pandemic, me being a nurse, just totally terrified, because every day we listen to the deaths in the hospital, and it was just a lot. It was a lot, and psychologically I needed something that I can control. So think about it. They're saying you can't go anywhere, you got to stay at home, just go to the grocery store, come home, wear your mask. It was just so much control. And so I needed something to be fixated on. And those finances, that vision came to me in October of 2019. I started calling people and executing a little bit towards December of 2019. But January was my go live date. I was going to hit it hard. And I said, oh, $45 a week. And then after February, I said, oh, I can do $25 a week. And so I put myself on that budget. So how was I successful? I was dedicated to staying focused on the goal. So first you have to make up in your mind what your goal is, right? So let me help you do something. Don't try to pay off 124K. That wasn't even my initial goal. My initial goal was in 3 to 5 years from January of 2020, I would pay off my debts. Okay? So that's realistic. That's about 4 to 5 years. That's a realistic amount of time. I went into beast mode because psychologically, I had nothing else to do. Being a single person, living alone, at least when you guys were in lockup, you all were in lockup together. I was in lockup singly. So my mind, because I have ADHD, and I need something to do, I have to be productive. I had to go on an Excel spreadsheet and put every bill on a tab, and I would work those spreadsheets. So before I would get paid, I had a system. This is what I'm talking about, being consistent and focused and being determined that it's going to happen. Now, I was in no rush to get this done. I had my 3 to 5 year plan and I was going to work it. However, when COVID came in psychologically, I was really freaking out because I was by myself. And I'm gonna share this, and I don't want you guys to make fun because this is seriously what happens in mental health. When you're by yourself, you can get so um, lonely because you're alone. Now, normally I'm alone in my house. I don't care. I could stay in 4 or 5 days, not come out on the weekends, the extra holiday on a Monday, and think nothing of it. But it's something about not controlling and being able to hear about the deaths and no vaccine in place, and you're there by yourself. So this is what I caught myself doing. You see this rocking? I would be rocking. I would be on the corner of my bed, sometimes on the floor, and I saw myself. So, in order for me to control something and not be in that state, didn't want to watch no more Netflix and Hulu, all that foolishness on the TV. Plus, I had already got rid of all that. I just kept my Prime. But I needed something to do. So, I know this sounds really different, but I would go and look at that spreadsheet at least 2 times a day. Now, the money is not changing, but it kept giving me ideas of I can move this, I can do that, I can do that. So that obsession, you see that rocking, that was self-soothing for me is to work the spreadsheet, looking at the bills. What can I do? What can I do? So that's what I do. I did that for a long time. And I I did that, and at the time I didn't realize how psychologically not well that was, but it got me through. And so that's what I was able to do. The next thing you have to do is, besides thinking about your focus and your goal, even if you say I want to pay off one bill by the end of 2024, set that focus and get your life in order to make that happen. But before you do anything, you need to do your budget. You've got to write things down, because when I always had a budget, but I never looked at the outstanding debt, like how much more my car was, how much more my other two bills were. I never looked at, I just knew that I could pay that note. I was paying a little extra on my house, and I was paying a whole half payment, bi-weekly payments, and a whole nother payment chopped up into those half payments. So I was paying 2 full payments a year, and all going to the principal. So I was really doing well with that. And so setting up that budget to see what you have coming in, what you have going out. Do you have a deficit, or do you have a some increase? After you do the budget, you will be able to say, okay, I'm doing really good, or I'm really needing some help. The second thing you do is you have to decide how you're going to get that $1,000 emergency fund. Because before you start trying to pay off debt, you really need to have that security blanket. And it will be visionarycoaching@yahoo.com, Margot. Visionarycoaching@yahoo.com. In the header section, put budget. So if you want to contact for help, that's it. Visionarycoaching@yahoo.com, and put budget. Now, once you get that $1,000, then you can come up with your plan on how you're going to attack that debt. Remember, don't stress yourself out. But the first thing I did, I start decluttering. I know y'all like, oh, I'm so sick of her with that. But when you see all the money, all the things that you have in your house that could add to your $1,000 to get that done, you'll be so excited. Plus, your house will be clean. You can see on top of the cabinets, you can see under the cabinets, and you use that extra money towards your financial freedom and your emergency fund. Those kids' toys, those bicycles, all the exercise equipment that you haven't used that you said you was going to use, and just clean out the garage. Take a closet every day. Come home from work, finish cooking, clean up everything, and go in the closet and get you a couple of bags, donation bag, keep bag, and then sale bag. All right. And you do that. And you have your children to do that with you so they can say, Mama, why are we pulling all this stuff out? Because this is extra and we need to have room so we can breathe and think in this house. So after you get your decluttering done and find your $1,000, or some of you say, well, I don't have any extra stuff. I'm already lean and clean. Okay, congratulations to you. How are you going to get your $1,000? You're going to get you a side hustle. I work part-time. And for the level of work that I did, I being a nurse, I couldn't get overtime like everybody else. But during COVID, they allowed me to get some overtime. And I also got a part-time job doing flu vaccines with a company out of Alabama. And I did the flu vaccines. And so those things gave me more money to put towards what? My debt-free goals. So for you, your first goal is to do your budget. Your second goal is to get your $1,000 emergency money. And your next goal is to start deciding how you're going to pay off your debt. Most easy way to get your fix to make you feel happy. In January, I remember I did January 2020. January 1 was the start of my debt-free journey. And I paid off one credit card, my student loan in January and February. That's what I did. And I was so excited. And there was a small credit card. It was like $5,000. And then the next thing I did was I paid off a credit card was like 1,500 and another one that was like 8. So by March, I had paid off 15,000, okay, by March. So that's the first quarter of the year. And I said, oh my goodness. I said I was going to be out of debt in 3 to 5. I got excited. I said, oh, sucky now. Let me get some more money. So at that point, I went and got a part-time job at that point. Well, I didn't go get a part-time. I started investigating about a part-time job. Now COVID is in full effect. It's March. And my boss is saying either you do this or you're going to have to be pulled and go out and do real nursing on the floor. So I started screening the staff, the nurses, the doctors, anybody that was going into the building, asking them if they've been around someone, taking the temperatures, doing those things. And so I did that in the mornings and in the evenings. And that gave me overtime because I still had to do my time. So that's how I got the overtime. So let me say this. I was able to make about 12,000. It was 12 or 14,000 in overtime, right? And then I made about 7 or 8 with the part-time job. And my numbers are off because it's been so long ago. But it was a lot of money. But I did what I had to do. So sometimes you're in an uncomfortable situation and you have to just be uncomfortable for a little bit longer to meet those goals. So with that part-time job and that overtime, then they gave us some kind of bonus for working in that capacity. I think it was $5,000. I only brought home like $3,500 because bonuses, they tax on it. So every penny I got, I was putting back. So I was able to get 2 of the stimulus, was $1,200, I think, one time, and $600. But that stimulus money, I put it straight on the bill. And even though I made all that money, because I, had my little business, and I was able to miss about $28. If I made $28 more on my adjusted income, I would not have qualified. But I've just made it in I guess it would have been 2019. So I qualified in 2020 when they was doing it. And I think I got one more in January of 2021. But anyhow, so I every penny I used, okay? Um and it made a difference. I was so focused and so dedicated. So don't give up on your dreams of your financial goals. Don't, but you have to set realistic goals. Now let me go back. Some of you are new to me, so you don't know. Let me give you some of my really good strategies. We call them SMART goals. That these goals are so smart that they're specific. Like, what are you going to do? So let me give you a SMART goal. The money that I'm saving now. I'm on a journey to go to the Super Bowl 2026 because it's here in California. So I have a SMART goal where it's specific. It's $200 every pay period going out of my account, allocated to an allotment to Navy Federal. It's every pay period, $200, and it's allocated. It's realistic, it's attainable, and it is timely because I do it every pay period. Okay. Right now I have about $3,800 in it, and I started in October. Now that's over the amount that I should have, because every time I get a little extra, I throw a little $50, $100, whatever, over in there, because I'm excited. I will have at least 15 plus thousand. I might just be in the nosebleed section, but I'm gonna be in that building. That is what I'm saying about having a goal. It needs to be specific. What are you gonna do? You're gonna save $200 every pay period until 2026, starting October 2023. You're gonna let it be automatically deducted out of your uh, automatic deposit going into Navy Federal, that $200, and it's going until I guess, the January before the Super Bowl. Now I buy my ticket, okay, of 2026. And so that's what you do. Now, where is this money going? It's in a CD for I think it's 4.83. So I'm not just getting little measly money. I'm getting some decent. I'm not getting 0.0025. So that's what I mean about specific, measurable, that you can measure it. And it should be a very attainable, timely, the SMART goals. Okay. So that's what we want to do. So when you think about, oh, I want to pay off this next bill, let's try to do the snowball effect. What is the snowball effect? Those of you that are not used to me, the snowball effect is paying the least first and then going to the next one. The avalanche is paying the highest interest rate, or the one that has the most money on it. But I find the avalanche, people lose momentum because it takes so long to pay something off that's higher. Now, if you had a 28% interest rate on something, and you and it was only like 1,000 or 2,000, that might be something that, okay, yeah, you can go pay off quick. But most of the time it's something, $5,000 to $10,000, and you don't have that kind of money, so you have to work towards it. Okay, so let's go back to you and you desire to have your financial goals met. Let's do this. Let's get that first bill. That first bill you have is maybe $1,000, and you normally pay $10 a month on that bill. That's your smallest bill, $1,000. You already have your emergency fund. You've already written your budget. Okay. Now we're having our goals met. We got $1,000. Our first bill is to a credit card, $1,000 credit card bill. You normally pay $10 because it's the minimum. That's all you really can do. So now you've gone in your garage, you've sold a few things, and you got a little extra $200 because now you already have your emergency fund. So you take that $200 and your $10 and put that $210 on that $1,000 bill. All right. And every time someone gives you something for your birthday, you get a little raise on your job, or you decide to go and sell or do some babysitting. You got a bunch of kids, they already come and tell somebody else to you'll babysit. Your neighbor work night shift, your kids are asleep, throw that baby in there and watch them overnight. Just charge your neighbor a little bit. Like, find some way to get some more money. Next thing you know is 6 months and you've paid that $1,000 off. So that $10 that you used to paying, the next bill is $2,000 and you normally pay $20. So now we're gonna pay $30 on that next $2,000 credit card, and we paying $30. And we take that and we do it and we do it, and then a year later you're done. However, because you're not trying to get a part-time job, you're not trying to work overtime, you're just trying to do regular. Once you start seeing these bills done, you're gonna want to do it. And the most important thing is you stop spending. You have to stop spending. Okay? You have to stop spending. If you keep spending and adding to your debt, every time you pay something off, it's like you haven't done it. You got to be happy. Remember, I told you, January, February, March, I paid off $15,000 in my first quarter of my debt-free journey. That got me so excited. I said, whoa, what else can I do? I was like, let me go back through this house. Let me see what else I can sell. And I started decluttering even more, like getting tired. Don't need that. Don't need that. And by June 30th, which was my birthday, which will be the end of the quarter, the second quarter, I had paid off $35,000 since that January. Now, this is just consumer debt. I didn't have sense enough to consider my mortgage. So I didn't put my mortgage in until like the end of the year in December. So let's get back. I had already done $35,000 from January 1 to June 30th of 2020. I had paid off $35,000. Now, all the credit cards were done. The student loan was done. Guess what I was, well, actually May was my last, the 15th of May was my last credit card. So guess what I was paying off? In January, my car had 19,000 left. January, when I started, had 19,000 left. So my goal was in 8 months to pay that car off. So now every penny I had, so everything I was paying on those credit cards and my student loan, I was putting towards my car loan. Do you know my goal was August and I didn't meet it? It was by the middle of August and I realized I was $450 short. And I called my girlfriend. I said, girl, I said, I'm not going to make it, but September 1, I'm going to make it. That first check in September. And I was fine with it. She said, oh no. We paying this car off. And I'm like, we who? Ain't no we in this house but me, you know. And she said, I'm gonna pay it, Asia. I said, what do you mean you're gonna pay it? She says, you done got me fully vested in this. I'm doing this with you. I said, okay, whatever we're gonna do. I said, do you have Venmo or what is it? Venmo? What's the other thing? Cash App, Zelle. No, she old school. She don't have none of that. So anyway, she put it in the mail. She's in Augusta. I'm in Atlanta. It took about 5-6 days, but we made it before the end of August, and I was able to pay off that 19,000 totally by her blessing me with the 450. Now, I didn't ask her. She said, Lord laid it on her heart. She did it. But what happened was she started doing some debt-free things. The next week she called me after we celebrated and she said, you done made me mad. I said, what do you mean I made? She says, I got this car note. I got all this money. I go pay. So she took about $4,000 or $5,000 out of an account, paid her car off, gave that car to her daughter because it was a better car, took the least better car from the daughter and she started driving it. So that was a bill she paid off. Then I convinced her to start maximizing her 401k. So she started doing, at that time, I think it was like 27 K that she paid because she's over 50. She could do that. And so she did the catch up and 30. And she thought she could never do it. And she did. After a year, she was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did it. Now, 3 years later, she's done it and doing well. But you see how when you start sharing your journey with debt free, you get your friends involved and everybody's on the bandwagon. Now, none of my friends celebrated me with $25 a week. They said I was too cheap. That was crazy. Okay, you guys, I apologize. My phone went dead and I had to run downstairs, so I'm just going to stay down here and finish this up. But when I say don't give up on your financial goals, you cannot give up on your financial goals. So that dedication, that focus, and being consistent and setting small goals, using your SMART goals, all right? Meaning that it's something specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, and it's very much so realistic, okay? And timely. It has to be realistic. You know you can't pay off $100,000 in 2 years. That's just unrealistic, okay? So let's set some realistic goals. Now, so after that, you on that second bill. Remember your credit card. You're on the second credit card. You've paid that out. That is what we call the snowball effect. And you're seeing your your efforts and your work become true. You stop spending, you have your emergency fund, you've paid off two credit cards, and now you go to that next bill. That's what this is all about. I know I make it seem like it's so easy. It's not the fact that it's so easy. You have to have discipline and you have just have patience. The reason why you have to be patient, it took you 5 minutes to go in that store and spend $5,000. And it's going to take you almost 3 years to pay that off. So you're going to have patience. You just got to have patience and you have to have a plan. So that's why that budget is so important, so you can see what you have and come up with a plan. Now, if you have a husband, a spouse, a significant other, some other folk living with you, everybody has to go on this plan, because if the wife is saving and the husband is spending, or vice versa, it's not going to work. We have to be on one accord and we have to say, this is what we're going to do. The next thing I would encourage you to do is have a meeting, a weekly meeting. I choose Wednesday. I meet myself. I look over my bills because my check comes in on a Friday, and I say, okay, am I still paying these bills? Do I want to change it up? Do I want to put more money on my mortgage? Things like that. Or did something pop up and I need to pull something out the emergency fund? I don't keep a lot of money in the emergency fund. Now, I do have 6 months of household income saved up because I follow that Dave Ramsey concept. So when I went debt free, that was one of the things I did, was I made sure I had, instead of the $1,000, I did 6 months of household. That means all the bills you have for 6 months is in an account. Now it's making 4.83. Yeah, that one's making 4.83. And so it's sitting there. So if I need it, I also have emergency at my job. I have 685 annual hours. So if they fire me, I'll get a check. If I get sick, they're gonna pay me for 4.5 months. So this is the kind of stuff that is important, that you have backup to the backup. All right. I have nothing but a house note, no car note, no credit cards, or nothing. Now I use my American Express because I travel, and I use it and I pay it off on the 20th of every month. 21st is due, but I always pay it by the 20th, just in case you don't want to be late on nothing. And then I use my Visa because when I go to Costco, get my gas and my groceries, they don't take an American Express. So I do use those cards. But I'm highly disciplined. I've saved $135 in 3 years. And so that's and 120 extra going into my 20K going into my retirement. So 250,000 over 3 years. I think I'm disciplined enough to use my credit card. All right. And so those are the things you do. Make sure you realize that once you have these goals, that you put them around your house. Like I used to put things on my refrigerator, in the bathroom where I get ready, because I have a couple of bathrooms, but the bathroom that I get ready, that I spend more time in, I put things on that. I put things on my mirror in that bathroom, and in the refrigerator, and also in the room that you get dressed in. If you have a dresser and a mirror, you put something on, because it's the reminder. In your car, On your dash, you need to put a reminder of things that you're trying, because you should always be in remembrance of the goals to keep you on task. And then people say, oh, you said you wasn't spending but X amount of money. And that's what you do. So you have those goals. The other thing I would say to you is get an accountability partner. You need an accountability partner, because that person will hold you accountable and you will hold them accountable. And maybe both of you guys can set a debt free journey. And also look at what gifts you have. Some of you are excellent writers, some of you can sew, some of you can swim. Do some things to help someone else, or use those skills to bring some more in, resources, some money in. Now, bartering. Say you need somebody to cut your grass. Now that might be $40 a week. Like I pay $4 a week, but if the grass, if the I shouldn't call him grass man, that's wrong. I'm sorry. If the landscaper has financial issues, I could barter with him and I could say, look, you cut my grass, so many cut grass, and then I give you so many hours of financial empowerment. You see how that works? You might know how to make cakes. Start baking them cakes and selling them cakes. Turn them into cupcakes. Do some birthday parties. Do some retirement parties. Make some things up. Learn some stuff. Go on TikTok. They can teach you everything on TikTok, and YouTube. Somebody's doing it. So use your talents to bring more money into the household. Get a part-time job for 6 to 9 months, and all that money goes straight to your debt. Now, if you get a part-time job and you start spending it all willy-nilly, going buying pocketbooks, taking trips, then you just wasting your time. Do something to decrease that debt. And that's pretty much all I have to say, is stay focused, have a specific goal in mind. After you do your budget, do your 1K emergency fund, have that, and start your snowball effect and paying those bills off, and being excited, looking forward to ways and when you can decrease your debt in other ways. Like I got rid of Hulu, Netflix, all that foolishness. I just kept my Amazon Fire Stick and my Amazon Prime. And at that time it was like $12 a month, back way back when. And I was good with it. I was totally good with it, because YouTube have everything you can watch on it. And you might watch it after the fact, but who cares? And you got enough stuff on Prime, and then the Fire Stick. That's enough. And so I didn't have cable, I just have internet. So that was like $50. When I tell you I cut back, I got rid of everything that was extra, even my warranty on my car. And I prayed, I said, God, I got 8 months. I got 8 months to pay this car off. This is my goal. I want to pay this car off in 8 months. Don't let nothing happen to this car. And sure enough, nothing happened in that car. And when I tell you nothing happened to that car, the car, I had to put $1,200 in the car last year. That was 3 years later. That was 3 years of my debt free. You see how God will cover you. So that $700 car note that I just put that money in the account, put that money in the account. And I've been, that's how I have the 135,000 saved in the 3 months. 3 years. So what I'm saying to you is, be accountable to someone and enjoy this journey. Have fun, and don't get frustrated because you didn't make this debt overnight. You didn't make this debt overnight. And once a week, have that financial conversation with your spouse, your loved one, your children. And let me tell you something about children. You're not doing your kids a favor when you're like, oh, you got the latest Jordans, you wearing the Coach or whatever these name brands, because I don't even care nothing about those people, because they don't care nothing about you. They just want your money. They want you to be in debt. You need to teach them about chores and an allowance. And they have an app. Go and research the app where they get the credit card. And when you give them, if you clean up the kitchen, I'll give you $8. And that $8 go, I'm just saying $8, it could be $10. And that $8 goes onto the card after they complete the task. And then when they go to Walmart and they be hollering for something, you say, oh, you have $12 on your card. Is that $12? And they say, no, it's 15. And you say, I'm sorry, you can't get it. Do not give them $3 to make that. You show them that you can't get what you want every time. Then you say, well, at home, I got some grass that need to be pulled, some weeds in the back. That's going to be $10. So you can go home, you can cut the weeds, pull the weeds, and then I'll put that on your account. And tomorrow we can come back. You see, don't give them everything, because the world is rude and real. And they're going to have temper tantrums and have psychological breakdowns in stores when they can't get what they want. Help your children. Give them chores so you can go back and say, oh, this is not done. You still have water on here. You didn't sweep the floor. And show them how to be productive members of society, and work them hard so they'll go to school or want to do something that they don't have to be doing basic labor. And nothing wrong with basic labor, but we want to push them till they can go as far as they can go. All right, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. And again, I apologize for the little blurb that we had with these internet, but things are fine. I want you to reach all your financial goals. Get on a budget, save your $1,000, start your snowball effect, stop spending, find you avenues to bring more money in your home, decluttering, start selling things, get you a part-time job, find you a side hustle, work some overtime, and get serious about your financial future and set some realistic goals. Realistic, because you can do it, and be excited. Be excited. This is a new day. Have a wonderful weekend.